So guys, figured I'd do a quick video again, kind of like what I did yesterday. I try to make this a little bit quicker, I guess. No plays again today. I don't think any actual plays. I'll be passing on the card. I will have football videos tonight, hopefully, as I usually do. We do have two college football games tonight on Wednesday. The Conference USA is starting their Wednesday play, I guess. Jacksonville State, Middle Tennessee State. It looks like more of the money. It looks like the money is actually on Jacksonville State, whereas the higher ticket percentage is on Middle Tennessee. So it looks like there is professional play to some extent on Jacksonville State. I don't know if I love it. The market looks that way, but Jacksonville State has the better record, and it makes the line look almost like a trap to me. Like, why would Middle Tennessee State be a favorite? Although, of course, they are at home, but the line is saying they're at, either a slightly better or even with Jacksonville State, even though they have the worst record. The line is like telling you that. So why would they line it that way? I think that would mean that the books might expect people to think that there's value on Jacksonville State, the underdog with the better record. But it does look like the money's going that way. So I would lean Jacksonville State just based on the money read, the market read there. But I don't like it because I think it looks like a trap as well. I don't have any situational angle on that. Florida International and New Mexico State. New Mexico State appears to be getting, this looks like it's more heavy as far as, there's a higher ticket percentage on Florida International, but a higher percentage of the money is all on New Mexico State. So I think this is the stronger play of the two, would be to lay the points with New Mexico State. 6.5-point favorite. They have the worst record, but they're substantial favorite here, and the books are telling you they're actually the better team. And what's going on here is New Mexico State has had a much more difficult schedule. I would say they had 3 straight road games and had to go out to Hawaii. That's not easy at all, and that was after they beat in-state New Mexico, their in-state rival, even though I think New Mexico State is the better of those two teams. But it looks like, maybe pros versus Joes kind of situation going on there, and the line going up on New Mexico State against where the ticket percentage is too. It looks like the money is on New Mexico State. New Mexico State looks like it would be the side there. And then we have baseball, the wild card round here, the wild card series. These are 3-game series, so every team that lost yesterday is facing elimination, which is wild here. Texas, Tampa, you got Eovaldi against Eflin, and Eovaldi has really good stats against Tampa, lifetime, a very low OBA, I think maybe even below 200 for Tampa's hitters. That looks good for Texas, but Tampa on the brink of elimination. Of course, the motivation is going to be strong in both cases. Zach Eflin is pitching. He has bad stats against Texas's hitters, over a 400 OBA, but only like half of their hitters have actually ever seen him before. So I think he might have an advantage against some of the Texas hitters there. It looks like a higher money percentage is on Tampa there, even though the line has actually gone down on Tampa. It's a tough read on that one. I don't know what to think about that one. I don't even know if I would say I have a lean one way or the other on that. That one is a tough way to go. I might slightly lean Tampa there, just with a slight added motivation that they're going to get eliminated if they don't win. I don't know. And both of these AL games are the afternoon games again. You got Toronto, Minnesota. It's possible Minnesota does this today. Like I said yesterday, people think that Minnesota is not as good. I think they're kind of a joke because they won much worse division, the AL Central. But they looked good yesterday. Of course, Lopez came to pitch. He looked good. Today, this is Barrios against Gray. They've both been good. They both have good numbers against these opposing lineups here. So that's all kind of a wash. The bullpen situations, I think, are all washes in these games too, by the way. Like Texas, Tampa, they both kind of saved their pens yesterday, and all the other teams kind of used theirs to like a decent extent. So I don't know that there's any bullpen advantage either way in any of these games. But Toronto, Minnesota, I would actually slightly lean Minnesota. It looks like they're getting more of the money, and the number's gone up a bit, which would be... That's kind of just the same effect that I thought was in play yesterday, where they're perceived to be the worst team, but Sonny Gray is pitching. He hasn't really done much wrong. Minnesota actually has really good starters, probably actually better starters than Toronto does. Of course, Toronto has the better offense, but I tend to favor pitching a little bit more. The value, I think, kind of would still be on Minnesota here for the same reasons as yesterday. People think that they're worse because they're in the worst division, but they could do it here. They could knock Toronto out in advance. That would be the way I would lean, at least, I guess. Arizona, Milwaukee. It looks like Milwaukee, kind of similar between Milwaukee, Minnesota, and Tampa, where they all have the higher ticket percentage and money percentage, with the money percentage is even higher than the ticket percentage, although it looks like Milwaukee has actually ticked down a little bit too. Arizona upset them yesterday, and that was the biggest line that was on the board, whereas today it's either Philly or Tampa, and none of these are huge favorites, but Milwaukee was a bigger favorite yesterday than they are today, because the pitching matchup is a lot more even today. But Milwaukee was able to do it, even though Fott wasn't very good. He was out early. They kind of used committee to get that done. Their bullpen didn't allow any runs, which is crazy. I believe they didn't. And then Arizona wound up winning that game, which is crazy. So they were able to do it. Today, I think Milwaukee would be the lean. Peralta is pitching, and he had a 33-1 strikeout walk ratio in September, which is totally insane. Although he finished the season with his one not very good start of the month there, but he was really dealing. He's a good pitcher, and his stats against Arizona are good, but they're also limited. So he's been good against the hitters he has faced. A lot of the hitters have not faced him, which I think gives him a bit of an advantage there. And of course, they're on the brink of elimination, so maybe factor that in slightly. Zach Gallen for Arizona. He's probably their best starter. I mean, I think he must be. He was an all-star. He has really good stats. His stats against Milwaukee are really good, under a 200 OBA, but they've seen him more. So there's a chance Arizona could advance here. One of the last teams to get in out of the wild card. That would be crazy if that happened. I would slightly lean to Peralta and the Brewers in this one, though, just because I think he has a little bit of an edge because he's about as good of a pitcher, at least, as Gallen, and because of the slight edge where Arizona's hitters have not seen him. And then Miami, Philly. I actually leaned to the Phillies here. Thought Miami was in a decent spot to take game one. That didn't happen. I was wrong about Tampa, too. In Tampa, Glasnow just walked way too many people, and they made 4 errors, which you're just not going to win if you have stats like that. You put that many people on base. Have that many mistakes. Your starting pitcher doesn't have command, and your fielding is terrible. It's a bad combination. So that happened at Tampa yesterday. Miami, Philly, Braxton Garrett, and Aaron Nola are the pitchers here. And actually, this is similar to all the other ones where it looks like, again, the home team has a higher money percentage than ticket percentage. I would lean that way to Philly. They have the majority of both, but more money than tickets. Nola has really good stats against Miami, and Garrett, even though his stats have been good on the season, his stats are really bad against Philly lifetime. So I think that's the difference there. If I were to rate these 4 leans, I think I would say Philly might be the strongest just because there's such a discrepancy between the starting pitchers' history against each other. Then I would maybe say Milwaukee, I guess, because of Peralta not having been seen before. Then Minnesota, then Tampa would be the strength of those 4 leans. Take what you will out of that. None of these are strong. I'm just commenting on what I see on the board and whatever. I'll be back with football videos tonight and have actual bets going on for you. So, peace out.